This is a video about how to change the oil on a Chevy Silverado as well as how to grease the chassis. First things first, you want to safely get the truck up in the air. You can either use ramps, jack with jack stands, or you can actually get a forearm lift and use it. But once it's up in the air, you want to crawl under there and you want to find the drain plug, and it's usually somewhere around the oil filter, so that'd be a good place to start looking. Once you find the drain plug, you want to get a couple drain pans under there and start backing out the drain plug. For the truck, it's a 15mm socket, and then I used a ratchet to back the plug out. And then just once it's out, just let it drain for a good while, and when it's pretty well done dripping, you can go ahead and move on to taking the oil filter off, which is right to the left of the pan. Once you found the oil filter, to remove it, most of the time you can just twist it off by hand, but sometimes you'll have to use an oil filter wrench. So you basically just twist it off counterclockwise, and then get a drain pan under that because it gets messy pretty quick. But once you're done with that, you just want to wipe off all the mating surfaces for the oil filter and the drain plug. This will ensure that there's no gasket material or dirt in there, and you'll get a good clean seal. Once you have all of the surfaces wiped off, you can reinstall the drain plug. Start it with your fingers first and then tighten it to the manufacturer's spec. But once it's tightened, you go get the new oil filter. If it's a can style like this one, you want to oil the gasket a little bit with your finger. Just wipe it around to the gasket, and then you can fill the can up with oil a couple times and let it drain down. This will ensure that you don't have a dry start. Once you have the oil filter prepared, you can go back onto the truck and reinstall it. Basically, you just run it up with your hand until it touches the metal mating surface, and then you just want to give it another 3/4 turn about. Just get it nice and snug up there, but not overly tight. Now that everything is installed underneath the truck, you're ready to fill it up with oil. So you want to find the oil filler neck, which is usually somewhere around the cylinder head or the valve cover, and then you just want to open it up and then get a funnel, start pouring in the specified amount of oil, which for this it's 6 quarts of 5W30 oil. Once you've finished adding the specified amount of oil, just reinstall that cap and then check the oil level by pulling the oil dipstick. It's to the left of the motor on this application, and then just wipe that off, reinsert it, and then pull the dipstick back out again, and then read the oil level. Then you want to adjust accordingly to it. If your truck is equipped with the oil life monitoring system, you can reset that. To do that, you just go into the truck, turn the key to the on position, and then press the accelerator pedal 3 times within 5 seconds. And then once you've finished with that, a message will display, and it'll say that the oil life monitoring system has been reset. And that's all you have to do for that. And then once you're done there, you want to start it up and then check under the truck for any leaks. And while you're under the truck, you may as well grease the chassis and then check everything out under there. To do that, you need a grease gun and then some NLG2 rated grease, as well as a bunch of rags. Basically, just go under there and you want to go up to the steering and suspension parts up front. And then to find the grease zerks, you'll check for the upper ball joint, lower ball joint. Then you'll have the inner and outer tie rods, the idler arm, the pitman arm, and then the relay rod. So you want to check those, clean them off with the rag before you even pump any grease into them. But for the ball joints, you want to check the boots and make sure they're not ripped or torn. But if the boots are plump and firm, you don't need to add any more grease. When you're greasing these, it doesn't take a whole lot to fill up the boot or the joint. Usually about 2 or 3 pumps, and then it's full enough. Usually you want to do this about every other oil change. Just go under there and check the boots. But the benefits of greasing them, you get all the dirt and old grease out of the boot and the joint, so it doesn't wear any suspension or steering parts. Basically, and it also keeps the water out, so that'll prevent wear as well. Some vehicles won't have these grease zerks, and they'll just have joints that have been sealed for life, which is time saving and easier, but I always like having the grease zerks so you can keep them full. But once you've finished up there, you can check the drive shaft, but usually there's none on there. But once you're finished there, you're done greasing it.